If you're looking to improve your productivity,
intuitive, effortless productivity system.
It's my complete productivity system.
Build a productivity system.
Productivity is one of the most popular niches on social media and YouTube, and it feels like every software developer I know is not just trying to optimize the efficiency of their algorithms, but also the efficiency of every waking hour of their lives. From getting up at 5 a.m. every day to the Pomodoro method, we are in an endless race to chase that constant state of flow and deep focus. But despite reading all the books on productivity, getting myself a productivity journal, and binging productivity gurus on YouTube, I realized there was a big downside that I didn't see coming. So in this video, I want to talk to you guys about some of the most toxic traits of productivity content today. First, it perpetuates the myth that everyone else is more productive than you. It's December 2021 and I was hiking along the Ojai Trail in Maui. But while hiking along that trail, I couldn't shake this feeling in the back of my mind, and it felt like the sense of shame and guilt. It was just the second day in Hawaii, and I was already thinking, should I be more productive? Shouldn't I be doing leak code right now instead of laying on the beach? It's like, for years, I'd been dreaming about going to Hawaii, and now that I was finally there, all I could do was worry about not being productive and not using my time wisely. I even purchased a week-long membership at their local gym because I didn't want to miss a single workout. What the heck was I doing lounging around on a beach in Hawaii when I don't even have $2 million in the bank and I don't work at FANG? How dare I take a break, right? The irony was, I wanted to be productive so badly so that I could spend more time traveling and having downtime. But now that I was actually here, now that I'm in Hawaii, there is a nagging voice in the back of my head asking me, should I be doing this right now? Have I actually earned the right to take a break? Because I was watching so much content from productivity YouTubers and influencers, I kept getting recommended more of this stuff, and it gave me the impression that everybody else was getting up early, journaling, taking cold showers, so that every minute I wasn't being productive, there was a sense of anxiety and guilt. It just felt like everybody else was moving fast, moving ahead except me. It took me a really long time to realize this, but consuming all that productivity content actually detracted from the experience of my time off, which was the very thing I was working so hard and being productive for. My second issue is that we're measuring the wrong things. Productivity content treats markers of productivity and busyness as an end goal rather than the means to an end. You can read 100 books a year, but unless you're getting paid to read those books, all that means is that you're reading 100 books in a year. Reading all those books is a tremendous waste of time if you forget everything and you don't implement any of that knowledge, but you're just hoarding all that knowledge. Measuring productivity by the number of books you read is like measuring a programmer's productivity by the number of lines of code that he's written. Productivity content conflates these vanity metrics with actual progress. Japanese culture, for example, is famous for their long working hours. They even have a term to describe death by overwork: karoshi. Each year, hundreds of people die from the health issues caused by working 80 to 100 hours of overtime every month. CNBC did a feature on this recently, and the narrator described walking down the street at 3 in the morning on a weekday and occasionally seeing men in suits carrying a briefcase. But despite working these long hours, what shocked me the most is learning that Japanese workers have the lowest productivity among the G7 nations. One of the main reasons is that there is a strong emphasis on being a team player and conforming to the norm. And often this is more important than producing real results. Due to the collectivist culture, Japanese people feel guilty about taking paid time off, especially since Japan is facing a labor shortage crisis. In addition, because of the hierarchical nature culture of the workplace, it's more important to actually look busy and dedicated to the company rather than actually delivering value. And if we're being honest with ourselves, this is probably something that we could all relate to at one point or another in our careers. Elon Musk proclaimed,
if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve. You will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve.
this sounds really good at face value, except it's completely not true. We're not robots working on an assembly line. Any software engineer that's worked a day in their life knows that if you're coding for, 5 or 6 hours, your productivity waxes and wanes throughout those hours. And we've all experienced that 2 p.m. slump where you're not nearly as productive as you are at 10 in the morning when the caffeine's just hit. Believe it or not, you can definitely build a successful business or have a successful career without getting up at 5 in the morning, taking cold showers, journaling, meditation, etc. What I do enjoy doing rather than meditating and getting up at 5 a.m. is learning new topics and improving my skills. So today's sponsor, Brilliant, is the perfect tool for learning something new and interesting, using the time you've saved not meditating. Brilliant offers many lessons on topics I find interesting, such as math and computer science. And lately, I've really been enjoying the course on how LLMs work because I want to improve my own understanding of AI. The course is broken down into 8 interactive and easy to follow lessons. And what I like the most is that I can spend 15 minutes a day learning a new skill, which is perfect for busy people and lifelong learners. The courses are suitable for all levels and the exercises are fun and interactive. And new content is added monthly. If you're interested to learn more about Brilliant, you can try it for free for 30 days by going to brilliant.org/Catherine Lee or by clicking the link in the description. The first 200 of you will get a 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. The next issue is that prioritization is 10 times more effective than productivity hacks. I've worked as a software developer for SaaS companies for the last 8 or so years, and I realized that the single biggest waste of time is building stuff that nobody asked for. My Apple Watch, for example, recently released an update to their fitness tracker where if you wanted to end your workout, you needed to end the workout and then it would ask you, are you sure? And then you had to click again to confirm your decision. When I first saw this update, my thought was, yes, it's simple, but it's a relatively useless feature, and I'm pretty sure nobody asked for this. From a UX point of view, we all know that these confirmations should be reserved for user actions that they may accidentally do, and those mistakes come with higher stakes attached. For example, you want to ask the user for confirmation when they're transferring money or when they're shutting down an account. Too many confirmations just decreases our user experience by wasting our time. So I wasn't really surprised when a few weeks later, they released another update whereby they reversed this new feature that's asking you for a confirmation. Given that this is Apple and they paid their engineers very well, I'm thinking they spent thousands of dollars planning, coding, testing, and designing this new feature, and then had to spend more money finding out that no one liked it, pissing off a bunch of people, and then having to reverse this feature. They probably could have saved a lot of time, money, and effort if they just asked themselves, is this feature critical to improving user experience? Cutting down scope and getting rid of useless features will save you more time than the Pomodoro method ever will. I really love this quote by James Clear. Highly focused people do not leave their options open. They select their priorities and are comfortable ignoring the rest. If you commit to nothing, you'll be distracted by everything. The Pareto principle states that for a lot of outcomes, 80% of the results come from 20% of the causes. Sometimes it's 90-10, other times it's 95-5, it can be more extreme. But the point is that not all the things you do are going to have equal impact, right? And it's vital to discern which of your actions are going to have outsized impact. Prioritize those actions rather than the other 80% that's going to have a lot smaller impact. For example, when I first started on my fitness journey, I was obsessively researching the most optimal supplements to take, the best fitness trackers, the most optimal training program. But you know, what I should have been doing was just pick up any free program and hit the gym consistently. The trackers and supplements matter in the end so little, if at all. What will have the biggest impact is always just a couple key things: going to the gym consistently and going a little heavier each time. So instead of always asking yourself, how can I do more? How can I add more stuff to my calendar? How can I squeeze more things in? You should be asking yourself, what can I take out? Which of these actions are going to have the biggest return on investment? I see this all the time, especially with people trying to lose weight. They'll spend hours upon hours doing cardio, but they could have achieved the exact same thing by just skipping the cardio and also skipping the second bag of chips while watching The Sopranos. By the way, I'm not saying to not exercise. Obviously, exercise has massive benefits outside of dropping weight, but if that was your focus, I'm just saying there are more efficient ways to get to the same result. Problem number 4, we don't ask what the point of all of this is. The economist John Maynard Keynes made a bold claim in a speech titled "Economic Possibilities for Our Grandchildren." In a century, due to the advancement of technology, no one will ever have to work more than 15 hours a week. For the first time since his creation, man will be faced with his real permanent problem: how to use his freedom from pressing economic cares. And here we are, nearly a century later, and we are definitely working a lot more than 15 hours a week. Rather than saving us time, technology seems to only have made us busier. Keynes was right in the sense that we are more efficient than ever due to advancements in technology and skills training. His mistake was thinking that as our circumstances changed, our expectations will remain the same. But this is not the case, and we can see this in our own lives, in the lives of our friends, families, coworkers. As soon as we make enough money to meet our very basic needs, we move the goalpost. We have new goals to aspire to and wealthier people to compare ourselves to. Every single one of us has experienced the hedonic treadmill at one point or another. Once we can afford a basic car to get us from point A to point B, we get used to it really quickly and we aspire to get a newer, more expensive model. I think the one thing that you have to keep in mind when you're consuming all of this productivity content, you're running yourself into the ground, is that 30, 40, or 50 years down the road, no one is going to remember how busy and productive you were. Nobody except maybe the friends and families you disappointed because you had to work such long hours at the office. So the next time you hear about a friend or some startup entrepreneur bragging about the fact that he works 60 to 80 hours a week, just understand that that is not really a flex, and really reflect on whether or not that's the kind of life you want to lead. Is that going to be fulfilling for you? And if not, don't be guilt-tripped into thinking you have to do more, or you have to be more productive. You only have a few short years on this earth, so live it your way. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.